All right. Well, thank you to everyone for being here with us today. We are OPNoobs.com, PC Gaming by PC Gamers. We're doing one of our dev talks this weekend, as we do every weekend. Today we have with us Noor Khawaja of Fork Particle, and he's recently released on the Steam Greenlight a game called Galaxy Combat Wargames. A demo was just released on May 27th, so a lot of folks have been out there trying it out. I've tried it out. It's very fun. And we're really excited to talk about this game today. So, Noor, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
As I was saying, I had a chance to play this game a little bit earlier today, and it's a lot of fun. It's just for the folks who haven't played it yet. It is a free-to-play game. It's an action sort of arcade space shooter style game, I don't really know how to display it. It doesn't play similarly to any other space shooter game I've played before, because it's kind of it's almost like it's almost like a form of tennis. There's two sides, and you're fighting the other side, and there's sort of a middle ground that you need to get your projectiles over. But it's not like tennis either, in the sense that you're really trying to destroy things. So why don't you tell us a little bit about this game? I'd like to hear sort of how you describe it to other folks when they ask you about it.
Sure. So let me give you a little bit of the story backdrop. So the whole context of the two players shooting at each other and trying to kill each other on kind of a planet, which is basically an arena. So what's happened is the story goes like this. The commander-in-chief at planet Dionos, which is where you are, he has announced to conduct war games in order to basically get ready for offensive Sting, which is an operation they're going to conduct against an alien race called Zoknox. And the Zoknox are basically, they're preparing to battle against planet Dionos to destroy this whole race. So that's where the war games comes in. So what's happening is from at planet Dionos, these trainees or basically they're preparing soldiers to fight up against the Zoknox, and that's where these players come in, and they're basically playing each other, getting better, and they're trying to find who's the best and who's going to get recruited. That's what the commander-in-chief basically is looking for.
Yeah, it's as I was playing, some of that story started becoming revealed to me, and you pieced it more together for me because I didn't quite understand all the intricacies there. But it's funny because I like the robot motif. I really enjoyed the character design, or maybe they're pilots. I don't know if they're meant to be robots. They look like little robots, but the little pilot guys, I really enjoyed them. And there's kind of a little bit of like a steampunk aspect to it. I felt like because it felt very the design felt very mechanical, which I thought was really cool. So these aliens that are fighting in these war games, is there a as I was playing, I found that I was fighting other people online. But why are the war games supposed to be simulated among the people that are playing each other online? Is that the idea?
That is the idea. So this is you're not playing against these Zoknox yet. So this is the preparation for the offensive Sting, and so essentially, in this army, they're trying to recruit the best, and so that's what the leaderboard actually represents. It represents the best players and best fighters, rather, and those are going to be the ones that get recruited. And that's where players from all over the world can play and prove that they're the best.
So, and that makes a lot of sense. I've played a number of games that have global leaderboards. It's always very exciting to try to compete for that top spot. So the game is free to play. What is, of course, right now you've just got a demo out and you've just gotten, green lit, so you're still a bit in the development process.
Yes.
But when you release the game, do you intend it to be free to play when you release it?
Yes, we do intend it to be free to play. We'd like, a lot of players to join, the battle without having to, pay, a fee of a cost. But eventually, you do need to, in order to upgrade your weapons or skins of the bots or the spaceships, you do have to collect coins, and those coins you could collect by winning matches, and if you feel that you're not gaining enough speed with the coins, then you could purchase coin packs. That's it, and we kind of expect that players will basically a lot of them will basically just collect coins and then upgrade their weapons. They don't have to make a purchase right away, but I think we will release sort of expansion packs within the galaxy, so you'd be able to have a free region, and there might be a couple of regions that we'll put a price on.
Cool. Yeah, that makes sense. And right now, you just have the only way you can get coins is sort of organically right now, right? Sort of by playing the game, in other words.
Yes, you play the game, and you only get coins when you win.
Right.
So right. If you lose, you don't get you get experience. You get better at stuff.
Yeah, and just for folks who haven't played, and again, you can download the demo, so you can play it. You can switch out your weapons, you can switch out the main body of your ship, and you can also switch out what looks to be kind of an engine piece in the front. So there are several pieces of your ship you can upgrade as you collect points, and it changes the way your ship looks, and there's a lot of different styles. One of the things that I kind of enjoyed, this just kind of made me laugh, is when every time you win, your guy does a punch up in the fist, and your ship kind of moves with it. It's almost like your ship is happy for you. I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, so you can change your ship as you upgrade to with various points. So I guess as when you do eventually release this as free to play, I assume there'll be a full store, and you can use your credit card to buy extra points. Of course, what comes with that is when you have online play. If you have people that can purchase their way forward versus folks that have to play their way forward, do you still have a sort of a reward for people that played through it rather than purchase?
Yeah. You will have to play through still quite a bit, because the upgraded weapons, the newer weapons, they come locked by default. So yeah, you'd have to play to get them. You have to. You're collecting the coins, and at the same time, you're also collecting wins, which is there's a little trophy that you get each time you win, and that is actually tied to the rank, to the level of the player. And weapons are only unlocked, or skins, when you get to a certain level, for your player. So you can't purchase all the weapons in one shot. You still have to collect a bunch of wins.
Oh, that's nice. That's a clever design, because I'm sure, as you know, there are games out there, especially for mobile, is the worst, where you can just buy your way to the end. It's almost no point in playing. And I like the idea that you have to earn your levels, you have to earn the unlocks, and maybe you can pay some money to catch yourself up a little faster, maybe just a little bit faster.
Right.
You can't buy your way to the front of the line.
If you're getting a little anxious, then sure, go ahead and, pay. I mean, it could be, you could get an advantage, a little, bump up if you buy the next weapon, or if you buy a pack, your coin pack, and purchase. But we were actually, when we were testing the game, we actually did try to let all the weapons be unlocked. And we realized that what was happening with it, and we did have focus groups, a couple of focus groups to try this stuff out. And what happened was, people would basically, they'd save their coins all the way to they'll skip a few weapons. and not even try, these weapons have, slightly different features, and if you play them enough, you'll realize that, they're different. To get better with a certain weapon, you have to, you have to get a feel for that weapon, on the timing of the weapon, how to aim it, stuff like that. So I think it kind of became critical for us to let players experience the different weapons, and not have to just look at a weapon. Oh, this is the only one that I like, and just save all the coins just for that weapon and buy that weapon and forget about the rest. I mean, you'll miss out on the entire experience, of the game.
So it's interesting that you tested that with focus groups. What can you tell me a little bit about that? How does that work? Do you find people online, or do you have a company that you work with that helps you find folks to test the game?
Sure. So it wasn't scientific at all. It was basically like a pizza party, and we had a bunch of kids. Just people that we knew. People from the building in here. We just had maybe 10 or 12 kids from age range from like my son was here. He's 8, and we had other kids here who were 11, 12, up to 14. And we just invited them, and they and these were kids, of friends and their friends, and yeah, they were entirely excited to test out the game and visit a game development studio, just that for them, and I think being with friends themselves, they're pretty hyper when they got here.
That's cool. Yeah, I would have been excited.
They really enjoyed it, and one funny thing that did happen was, so at the end of the focus group, we had them play the game, but at the end of the focus group, we had a little questionnaire. We made it really easy. What did you not like about the game? What did you like about what was frustrating? Stuff like that. And I think after they were all sitting together, and we noticed that they were like copying from each other. So, but I guess we sort of expected, they were getting away the easy way. But we did get some really good information out of that, and it tested the game for us with a larger group. So we got a lot out of that.
Cool. Yeah, that's that's actually I feel like a great independent gaming developer story, that they got their friends together and their kids' friends together and their own kids in a room and used them as a focus group. But that's smart. I mean, it's a smart thing to do, and I think that a lot of developers could learn from that kind of idea.
Absolutely, and I think people might think it's something very formal. One has to do, but it's really not. You get a bunch of friends out and conduct their focus.
I was imagining, like, I was in a focus group for an ice cream flavor not that long ago, and there was a lady there with a clipboard, and they're saying little spoons. So how do you like that one? And they're like watching me very closely as I eat my little spoon of ice cream.
Behind the one-way mirror.
Yeah,
and getting recorded.
Well, so that's so I guess touching back then about how you've used a lot of your own friends and family to help you sort of practice and work on this game. What is your company like? Are you a more are you a formal development company in the sense that you've made a lot of other games, or is this one of your earlier first projects?
This is actually our, I would say, it is our second project, and the first project we actually shelved. It was a puzzle game, and I think I guess the team wasn't too excited about it. It wasn't working out, so we figured we'll come back to it later. We never came back to it, but this game we were totally. It was it was going to be a PC game online. An online game, it's color matching puzzle type of game. A very simple game. We didn't want to start out with a big project for our first game. But I'll tell you a little bit about Fork Particle. So Fork Particle actually started out, and it still is a middleware company. So we actually develop a software development kit, that is licensed by other game developers, and that has been our product for a while now, for many years actually. Somewhere along the line, though, our team here, they all love games, they play games, and we've always wanted to develop at least a game. And so a couple of years ago, we decided that we'll put a team together on the side, and they'll formally we'll call it Four Particle Games, and they'll start development on a game that we'll try to see through to the end this time, unlike the puzzle game. So yeah, we started out, it's having a game. I think we sort of got a little over ambitious on this particular product because there's a lot of back end engineering that had to go in place to make all the multiplayer aspect to work. And there's a back-end database and all this, so even adding little features to a multiplayer games can become quite challenging.
So you feel that Galaxy Combat was maybe a little too ambitious for a second project for you?
Yeah, I think so. But we wanted to see through it to the end, and we're still at it. We're very excited about it, and we're very excited that it has been greenlit on Steam. So now we've been discussing what are the features we need to that are critical for us to go for the release. So that's what we've been discussing lately.
So what are those features? What do you feel is the most critical for you to finish?
I think so at the office here.
By the way, where are you located? I should ask that.
Okay, so we're in two places. This studio here, this is Pakistan. This is where the engineering team is. A bunch of the artwork. Hassan, who's our marketing manager, he's here. And our art directors are actually in San Francisco. They've been our partners in this development of this game. Lately, they've been a little hands off. They basically the studio called Incubate, and they do animation work and stuff like that, outsourcing work. And they are also, it's just like myself. I guess we could call us, game industry veterans. So at least the three of us, we've been in the industry for, decades. It feels like. So a long time.
Well, and we had talked just a little bit about what it was like making games in Pakistan. So and tell our viewers out there. You had mentioned earlier to me that it was mostly mobile focused, and we talked about maybe why that is. So why do you think the majority of game development in Pakistan is focused on mobile?
I have a feeling that since we're not in the mobile area, I'd have to guess a little bit here. I think the kind of content that you can get away with on mobile is I would say you could pick a genre from out there. You could even pick a certain kind of game that's available on mobile, and put your own little twist on it, release it, and you'll have a game. You'll get an audience, and I think that's in a way. I wouldn't say it's easy to do or anything, but I think it makes a good business model. You could, I think it's less risky. I think to do games on PC, you definitely, I think, have to have something original in your game. Otherwise, I think our experience with Steam, we've noticed that they're definitely looking for something new in each and every game, or something that's very appealing. So I think to come up with something new, it's kind of risky. And the other thing, I think in Pakistan particularly, why mobile is so popular is because a lot of companies are able to get outsourcing work for mobile games. So they may have a product division, but they also have they're also doing outsourcing work, and it's good business. I mean, they're companies that have 50 employees plus employees. So it's working out good.
It's kind of like there's a lot of contract-based workers in Pakistan.
Yes,
so a company maybe in Europe or anywhere else in the world might go to Pakistan to find a source of I guess perhaps inexpensive labor relative to where they're from.
I think so. Yeah, and I think they the work is good too. I mean they're delivering good work. So yeah, it's definitely making viable business.
Well, you said you've been in the business for decades. Has that always been in Pakistan?
No. I originally I'm based from California. So my career started out in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Yes, there were gaming companies there.
That's funny. There's also a few ET cartridges buried out in the desert there.
That's right. Yeah. So the popular activity was bird watching and spelunking. So if you're into that. Very nice place, very beautiful. Albuquerque is very beautiful.
And what year was this in approximately?
This was 1994.
Okay.
So yeah, way back.
So and you had moved from Pakistan, or are you from?
I came to the U.S. in 1988. Where I went to college in Texas, and after Texas, I ended up in Albuquerque, working for a company called American Laser Games. Yeah, they were making some pretty cool games on Laserdisc.
On Laserdisc, like the free DVD discs.
Yeah, that's right.
American Laser Company.
American Laser Games.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm just looking them up because I want to post a link for.
And I think the laser is Lazer. It may not be it.
No, I found them. Yeah, I found the Wikipedia article based in Albuquerque. Just for you folks watching, here's a link on Wikipedia if you care to read more. That's a little slice of gaming history right there. That's very cool.
Yeah. So
tell us about that.
So I started out on the 3DO. I was porting their Laserdisc games to the 3DO, and it worked pretty well. We released the home versions, also the coin-op versions of these games on 3DO. So yeah, we did that, and I mean, and then I was in coin-op for another few years until the coin-op sort of started to
it's a sad
turned
thing.
into more. I know but I guess the that coin-op / arcade experience kind of came home. I mean, with the PS1 and the other consoles. So yeah, that's where actually for me gaming started before that. I mean, I go back to the Commodore and Sinclair Spectrum days.
So when you were younger, were you an early PC gamer?
I was I had a lot of games. My dad had gotten me. I guess this is where it all started. My dad had gotten me the very original Pong. With the if you can see the
for the Atari 2600.
The paddle was the dial. So yeah, it just, I guess those pixels were, for me, they were just dazzling. How are they moving on the screen? So yeah, I worked for a bunch of companies, Konami, worked for Electronic Arts.
Wow.
And after Electronic Arts, that's when Fork Particle was founded.
What year was that?
That was 2005.
Okay, so Fork Particle's been around as a middleware company for a good long time now.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I'm starting to piece it together now. So you started really just as the middleware company, and now you're really venturing into games territory, ultimately fulfilling your lifelong dream as a young PC gamer to make games.
Yeah, I know. I've been making games for all this time, and when you do middleware, yes, you're still working with game companies. It's still very exciting, and you get to be part of some really cool games out there, but you're not developing the game itself. So yeah, I'm glad that we worked on Galaxy Combat, and we went through the whole process of I guess the process I knew, at least. We followed that, and our art directors, they're also industry veterans. That they've actually worked on more games than I have. And the process we knew, we went through a vigorous brainstorm sessions to get to the concept of Galaxy Combat. So we had like these 15 games that we narrowed down to 3, and then Galaxy Combat. We found that the whole team was very excited about this concept, and so it wasn't quite what's hot out in the market, or it was more about if we have an excited team, then I think we'll do the job right, and Galaxy Combat, I think, turned out to be a pretty decent, solid game.
Yeah, I can see the arcade roots in it for sure. It has a very arcadey feel, which is a good thing. And some people think of that as a dirty word, but I think it's a good thing. And yeah, I can see elements of some other games in it, and I can see where you got your inspirations from. When you were younger yourself, what was your favorite game to play?
I played different kinds of games. Eventually, it turned out that my most favorite ones were the arcadey, the first-person shooters. So I played a lot of Doom, and
you played the new Doom.
I haven't played the new Doom. I still need to do that, but I played a lot of Halo.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got Destiny. I think all the expansion packs. So that's.
So you still play a lot of newer games too, then, to this day.
I do. I have to say, my son plays them more, and I watch him. But I do tell him, hey, don't play with my character. I'll deal with him on my own.
That's funny. That brings me back. Yeah. Well, and I was also just touching back on the independent gaming scene in Pakistan. Would you say that what's it been like there? Is there sort of more of an independent scene growing where people do you see local developers really making their own games rather than just doing contract work? Is there any kind of emerging gaming culture that you see?
Yeah, there is. I think. I would imagine everybody, if they're doing outsourcing work, sure, it's good for business, but I'm sure they have it in them to try to create their own game. So I think they might have tried, they might come back to it, and some maybe already. But I think there are at least a couple of companies here who are developing their own product, and they're successful as well. So yeah, I think I personally I believe the talent is there now. If Pakistan, the game developers here, if they were still, I guess, behind the international scene, the quality that's required for the international scene, I think they're there, and they can create their own games. They just have to. I think they have to put their mind to it.
I got the sense that, you obviously you were in the United States. You probably could have developed a game anywhere you wanted to. I imagine you didn't have to go back to Pakistan. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are other reasons why you went back. But did you go back to try to help support the scene there, the gaming scene yourself? Was that one of the reasons why you came home?
The engineering team has always been here. So I basically came here to be closer to the team, have them be more productive. And for this game, I think I needed to be here because you're having day-to-day decisions to make. You want to be part of the mini meetings that happen, or just over the cubicle type of meetings where little decisions are happening. So yeah, I think it's been very helpful that I'm closer to the team right now.
That's cool. I mean, I really think it's great that you support the market there. I've interviewed folks from all around the world, and obviously some of those have been in the United States and Europe, where there's well-established gaming markets. But in a lot of the emerging economies of the world, there are these new little bustling enclaves of gaming developers. So it's always fascinating for me to hear when there's a little. Like in Pakistan, where there's a little, group of folks who are getting together and really starting to form a local industry. So I really hope, in the next 5-10 years, that we start to see, Pakistani-made games only, purely made by folks in your country. I expect we'll see that.
Yeah, that'll be great. And I tell you, I've been watching the scene here for a long time, and 15 years ago, there were companies, who attempted to make games, and this is when, mobile wasn't big yet. So, and people were trying to make, first-person shooters, and you could kind of tell that, they just weren't ready for the international scene, and maybe if they did something locally, maybe that would have panned out. But I guess my point is there has been a lot of failure in the past, and so it's come a long way. And it's great to see that these mobile companies, that they're thriving, mobile game companies. It's really good to see that.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. It's funny. Usually, so we do a segment on the show, usually right about now, where we allow the developer to answer criticisms about their game that we find on Steam. Sure. But startlingly, I've only found one. Now, that might partly be because the demo is very new, and so maybe you just haven't had the trolls haven't had time to work their way in yet. But I've actually so far you've got 100 comments, and about 98 of them are positive. So that's good. That's a really good start, particularly with free-to-play games, which often people are just hacking them apart ruthlessly. I did have one person notice actually something that I did, though, is that sometimes the character animation is a little choppy for just your own character. I've noticed as you scroll from side to side. But I think being an early release, I don't think anyone would really fault that, because generally the gameplay is very smooth. Also, all the comments are great. They say, looks good, looking good, nice, vivid game. I like it. People are giving you their votes left and right. One people said it reminds them a bit of old Super Monkey Ball 2 minigame Monkey Dog Fight, which is actually really funny, but that's really true. That is a really obscure and true reference. Yeah, you're getting a lot of love on Steam. I think that's really excellent.
I think kudos to our art directors. I think they've done a wonderful job with the art style and the art direction that they put in place. I mean, these guys are true professionals. They're very highly experienced. So, I mean, we were totally happy that, they're part of this team.
We do have one question from the chat.
Okay.
From Stitchroot. Shout out to Stitchroot, one of our longtime fans. He would like to know if the game has military-style rankings based on your performance. So I think he means like, captain, sergeant, private, corporal, that kind of thing.
Yes, they are like that. Basically we've been calling the military for this game as Luna Force. So yeah, it is military, and the rankings are the name of the ranks are like that. We actually so you do also get there are the ranks, and you also get like a level number. So you go from 1 through 20 as your level, and that's sort of like and those actually your level reflects basically how experienced you are in the game. So when there will be matchmaking, it'll be based on your level.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I guess that would be a feature that would be after the green light, you'd have sort of quick lobbying, right? I imagine you'll just be able to jump right in online with people very quickly, rather than just playing AI. At least I didn't see any ability to play anything other than AI currently. That's the case, right?
Yeah, I think that might have been because there was no other player online at the time.
At that time, okay.
So you will see you will have the bots. There's a list that we're calling the quick list, and that's where you'll see bots and also other players, and then there's a list where if you friend somebody, they'll show up in your friend list.
Gotcha.
So you can play your friends just by a click of a button.
And generally, how was the Steam greenlight process for you? Did you find it hard to get it passed, or how do you feel about it in general?
So I think it was a lot of it was it kind of starts out with the fear of the unknown. It's like you don't know exactly what you're supposed to do. I mean, you're trying to do everything positive, but you can't, put a finger on, what is going to make your game go towards the, the approval. Right.
There's no written manual.
Yeah, there's no manual. So we got tips from the internet, and we contacted friends who had their games greenlit, and they exposed us to a little bit of what they tried, and but yeah, there was no definite answer to if there's an algorithm back there that does it, or what is it that so I think we were basically doing we knew we needed to get the votes, so we were very active on Twitter, and also we were trying to generate any kind of visibility we could online, and it took I think it took about 2 months for the game to get greenlit.
And did you have to spend any money on marketing to get that done, like advertising online, or did it just a lot of promotion, on forums and that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's mostly promotion, very heavy on Twitter. But yeah, we were, I guess we were getting to the point where we were going to decide that we should use some, we should spend some on advertising. But it got greenlit before that.
Oh, good.
So that was just another thing we were going to try.
Nice. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm really, I'm excited to see how this game finishes up. I can tell that it's going to be, it's already very addictive. I can see myself getting hooked on that pretty quickly. I don't know if this is something you intended to add, but or maybe you have it. I didn't get a chance to try it, but it would be perfect with like an Xbox controller. I got the sense that like if I could use a joystick to move, because you can move up, down, and left and right, and which is a little awkward with WASD, but you get used to it. But with the control stick, I almost think it would be perfect. So I would just say add gamepad support if you already haven't, because I think that would be a great way to play it.
Yeah, that's point noted. We'll add that. We've noticed on Steam there are a lot of games that do have the pad support added. So we actually haven't tried it. So, but we'll definitely give that a shot. The other thing,
the arcade experience begs for it.
Right, and I think the thing we want to have players experience. Actually, this is something I forgot, and I'll bring it up now. So at the office, we have created rivalries out here. Like you beat me yesterday, but today we'll see what you can do. Mm-hmm. And I think there's that thrill. It's that's sort of what we want to project, in the final game that comes out. Once you get your rivals out there, that certain player you want to beat more, or if they're beating you too much, you want to get back. I think that's something that players will really enjoy, because we've been playing this game for a long time, and it's never getting old because of these rivalries that we have. It's really become something between human to human, rather than how good am I at this game on my own.
Nice. Well, that is the core of any good multiplayer game, is healthy competition. And I'm sure the leaderboards will go a long way to making sure everyone knows who's the best.
That's right. Yeah. We're going to try to make that a little more visible in the game as well, because I think that's a little subdued at the moment.
Will you have regional leaderboards, do you think?
Yeah, so we are going to introduce, I mentioned we're going to have regions in the galaxy. So those regions basically will, you'll be able to go to a certain planet, compete there, and when you become the champ there, you'll want to, so eventually the idea will be that, the ultimate champion will be the champion of the galaxy.
Gotcha. So you have to be champion on multiple places in order to be the ultimate champion.
Yeah, we'll send them something.
Well, stay tuned, folks. You'll get a prize if you do well. You heard it here.
Right.
Well, we are approaching time, but yeah, I want to put in a few shameless plugs on our part first before we end. Next weekend, we do have a tournament coming up for another independent first-person shooter called Verdun. It's a World War I shooter, and for all of you folks anticipating Battlefield 1, make sure you pay attention, because there's already a great World War I first-person shooter out there called Verdun. So yeah, that's going to be broadcast on Twitch next weekend. We're going to be doing it pretty much all day, both days, at least 6 to 8 hours each day. So please tune in. We'd love to have you. Also, just want to give another plug to our Patreon. At OPNoobs, everything we do is basically a volunteer basis. We do spend money on things like internet hosting and games to review, and all the things that we do, require time and energy. So please give us a donation on our Patreon if you don't mind. Every little bit helps. And today we have been talking about Galaxy Combat Wargames. I've been here with Noor Khawaja. He's a developer from a company called Fork Particle, which hails from Pakistan. And this game did just release a demo. It was released on May 27th. So if you go to Google, go to Steam, look up Galaxy Combat Wargames, you'll find a link to the demo there. It's a good game. It's a fun game. It's free to play, so there's really no reason why you shouldn't try it. And it just got greenlit, and so that means it can only get better from here on out. So I just want to say thank you so much for talking with us today, Noor.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, in the future, as you guys build more games, we'd love to talk to you again about your next project.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, folks. You all have a good day, and Fred, take us out.